About a year ago, I made a video more or less from this spot. It was called No Place for White People. Well, everything in Ireland has gotten worse. Everything. There are, of course, less white people, proportionately speaking, in Ireland now than a year ago. There are a lot more immigrants, and they're coming in their hundreds by the day. And communities, working class communities in particular, are waking up to discover that hundreds of young men, fit young men, have been moved into their local area. And when they object, of course, they are being called far right. But, well, I didn't need to tell you any of this. You probably guessed all this. One thing I have to say is now, in Ireland we have lots of patriots. We have lots of people who describe themselves as patriots. And these patriots are very active on YouTube and Twitter and various other platforms. They're not shy about calling themselves patriots. Now, of course, they constantly refer to the patriots of old, the actual patriots who gave their lives, who sacrificed everything. You know, they're quite happy to speak of themselves in the same sentence as those people. Of course, our modern day patriots in Ireland, they are all in robust good health. There's no prospect of any of them ending up dead soon. These are a new type of patriots. You know, they're going out of their way to make sure they don't do or say anything that's actually patriotic. But all of this is by the way, and you could guess all this for yourself. But what I really wanted to talk about was, last night I was watching a video on Gript Media. Now, Gript Media is you could call it, I suppose, a nationalist or an anti-woke independent media outfit here in Ireland. Generally it's quite good, up to a point, but only up to a point. Now, there was an interview yesterday with a woman called Louisa. I'm not sure how you pronounce her first name, but her second name is Lebrun. And she created an organisation called the Countess. And this organisation, it's anti-trans. It's opposed to transgenderism. Just wait for this. It's opposed to transgenderism being taught in schools and all of that. Now, in this interview, this lady, Lebrun, she said all the things you would expect her to say. A bit like all of these videos on YouTube, all of these YouTube platforms. You know how they talk and they talk and they talk. And basically they tell you what you already know. But they avoid saying anything that really matters. Well, this lady, she explains what's going on with transgenderism in Ireland and the dangers of it and the evils of it. But very interestingly and tellingly, at the beginning of this interview, she mentions Norma Foley. Norma Foley is the Irish Minister of Education, and she is pushing this agenda, this trans agenda, with a vengeance. Now, she refers to Norma Foley, and she basically says, and I'm paraphrasing here, she says that, well, Norma Foley is a decent woman. She's doing what she thinks is right. She's an honourable person, in other words. Now, towards the end of the interview, excuse me, towards the end of the interview, she repeats this in a more general sense. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but she basically says that the politicians who are imposing this on children in schools, that excuse me, they're well-intentioned, they're honourable people, if you like. Now, she didn't have to say this. She could have taken this opportunity to say that at some point in the future, these politicians might find themselves arrested and in court, facing charges. She could have said that, but she didn't say it. She could have said that if these politicians keep on as they are doing, if they keep calling decent people power right, if they keep imposing this oh, excuse me, if they keep imposing this extreme left agenda on people, that they might end up hanging from a rope. Now, she could have said this quite reasonably, that this would not be an extreme thing to say. She could have reminded these politicians just how angry people are and how this could turn out really bad for them. But she doesn't. It's the exact opposite. Oh, excuse me. She sends a message in this interview, and it's a very clear message. The message is, carry on. Nothing will happen. There are no consequences. And after thousands of lives have been destroyed, after our culture has been obliterated, after human misery becomes the norm for everyone living in this country, after all that, there will be no consequences. None. Excuse me. But that's the message. The message is, carry on. There will be no consequences. You can do what you like. You're honourable people.